Damn. All right. Well, Steve, we're at the Pearl Street
The
gym
Pearl Street
today,
Gym. That's
and
right.
it's been a hot minute since we last
Yeah,
podcasted together, recorded.
it's good. We've
You
got
know,
a lot of other nice changes around here. Might as well get
a
back to some
lot of good. I
things.
should now that I think about it, I should have had us in the background where the hole in the wall would have been.
All right,
Um,
right. Time lapse
yeah.
photography.
See the
When we
difference.
first walked through a long time ago to now. Yeah.
Agreed. When the raccoons were living in
Uh
here,
huh.
but
Yeah.
no, we wanted to get in the gym today, kind of give everybody an update of where the
Right.
facility is at, what we've got going on here at Pearl Street. You can see a couple of those signs behind us, but
Right.
diving into our kind of our mission pillars or our philosophy here at
Uh
the
huh.
gym.
Hmm.
So, Steve, you want to
Yeah.
take it away?
It was
Start.
pretty easy for us to think about that and kind of come together on it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thinking about um, just the impetus of the whole thing, right? Advocate wellness services. It's been central to the whole thing, and wellness is both physical and mental at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, wanting to have that be the unique dynamic that we've had from day one.
Yep.
So, anything that falls underneath that topic, that kind of um, focus, really works. I think over the past, couple of years, it's been really key to have that community word be very
Yep.
strong and have it shift and see where it leads. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty dynamic for us as well, with the different community, both planned or
Yep.
spontaneous
Yeah. That's kind
type
of
of
just.
community events that have occurred.
Yep. Yep.
Even the unique ways that personal training or different forms of people training in the facility have kind
Yep.
of come together over the
Mm-hmm.
past year or so, with Central Wisconsin Powerlifting, getting those kids in the gym and growing and expanding a new option for them, or even Anchored Female in the
Yep.
summertime being able to use this. And Mackenzie and Morgan both
Yep.
finding value of spending some hours here,
Mm-hmm.
beyond everything that you do in between all the groups.
Yep.
So personal training clearly is integrated throughout the week around here.
Yeah. So for those listening, watching, we do our bread and butter is the group training
Mm-hmm.
that Steve and I oversee, lead, program for. But we do realize that some folks just can't make those times work,
Yeah,
or they're
yeah.
just more comfortable one-on-one or in a small group setting. So we do offer personal training here through myself, through Coach Mac, Coach Morgan, Coach Tiffany does some
Mm-hmm.
training. But yeah, just kind of meeting people where they're at,
Mm-hmm.
understanding their needs, listening to what they're looking for, and offering up a service and an environment that's supportive and is also very much connected to the community, like you were
Mm-hmm.
talking about, through the
Mm-hmm.
different businesses and groups that we support directly, indirectly through our
That's right.
facility. So it's
That's
been
right.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that list isn't done yet. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
it's hard to put that list on or make sure we weren't missing anybody, because there's so
Mm-hmm.
many
Yep.
that we've had a privilege of partnering with, or either using their service or promoting them
Yep.
or partnering with them in other things is a really nice part of this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Agreed with it. And going back to our community support, kind of as Steve talks about, and I cover a little bit in the workouts or in the outdoor walks, is
Mm.
the importance of what we do in here is very important. Obviously, the mental training, the physical training, but then how we apply it
Mm.
in our lives, in our work lives, in our home lives,
Yeah.
in our friendships, relationships. How do we create those kind of little ripples
Mm-hmm.
moving forward? So, some extra options we have. I host a morning walk once a month, a full moon walk, and then a river dip here in the
Mm.
winter. Kind of inviting people
Yeah.
outside. And Steve's a big fan of the river dip, but just inviting people outside in
Yeah.
a different environment, especially the outdoors. Kind of, I'm partial
Mm-hmm.
to natural spaces, wild spaces, and
Mm-hmm.
inviting people into those areas for something like the sunrise, which is really cool, but can also be overwhelming or challenging for people to kind of carve that time for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
or for a variety of reasons, you just don't feel safe,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Walking around in the dark by
Yeah.
yourself,
Right.
which I
Right.
completely understand.
Sure.
So, kind of knocking down those barriers to entry and inviting people into these cool community spaces
Mm-hmm.
that kind of gives them extra connection, extra follow through. I've heard mental health topics you've discussed in here. I've heard those covered.
Mm,
I've used some of those for some of our walks, so
yeah.
it's cool to just see it all connect and come full circle.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that's been good this year is to shift in the email, because everyone around here, members, get an email on Monday that kind of kicks off the week and will echo the theme of the month. And then Wednesday, I'm here talking. And then Friday, we hit it for a third time in different ways. But one of the shifts this year we made was, instead of just giving more facts about a situation, was really challenging people to do some homework, if you will, right? Putting things into action. So I really love that when there's community events, you can tie it in, but wanting to have those ripple effects.
Yep.
Like, don't just come hear it.
Yep.
Can you take it and apply it? And that's I suppose, the sincere hope that I have, that people do apply these things and they have these light bulb moments where it's like, it works, or I feel better, or this is less difficult. Just the same parallel with physical training, where I'm stronger now, or that doesn't hurt as much anymore, or I'm more flexible and can achieve this task. And we want that both physically and mentally to be a regular occurrence.
Agreed. So we've covered a little bit of our wellness and community models. We've also got personal training, which we touched on. So if you're someone interested in more small group, semi-private, 3 pillars performance. What is that about, Steve?
Yeah, it's probably a growth of kind of sensing things over the past few years and thinking like, well, what else can we add that doesn't exist in a community, and in at least in many known options. But after working for a couple of decades as a counselor, it's been always good to connect with athletes of different ages, different sports, and wanting to help them. Oftentimes in the counseling office, it's in a negative sense, like I have struggled, or I'm in an injury, or I can't play anymore. So it's a lot in a reactive kind of way, and thinking, well, wellness, kind of again, starting back at that, is how can we do things proactively? So over the past year, I've been thinking of ways to implement something, offer another service here. And I think 3 Pillars training is designed for that, about recovery, resiliency, and really thriving in the sport people want to do, or just trying to make sure that it's not always about physical capacity to succeed in a sport. There is holding on to your passion so the sport doesn't become a grind. Or of course, the mental aspect. Whatever sport people play, there's a mental component to it that differentiates between being okay and good, or good and great. So trying to weave all 3 of those in is something I'm excited about, as it just kind of launches this year. Trying to get the word out through things like this, of, again, athletes of any age. I've been privileged to work with college athletes and high school athletes, and even those kind of elementary age students trying to explore what to get into, but recognizing that we'll often consider people post college as athletes too, because they are competing in their own kind of worlds. The running events that they do, the mountain biking, the other performance-based things that they want to excel at, and thought, well, let's bring the wellness model to that. Can there be a mental component that we work on here with me through regular support, weekly or monthly? And can we just go beyond helping them recover from an injury, if that's the case, or helping them grow into a greater spot mentally with a sport and performance? And I'm excited to see where that will go. But that's kind of that new service that we want to add to, that seems complementary to everything else that we do.
Lines up perfectly.
Yeah.
And do people book that through our website with you?
Yeah, it'll be communicating with us through the website, through our email, just to reach out that way, because it's not, just like the gym is distinct from the counseling office that I do, that's something that's fully here at the gym, and something just to reach out to you or me, and we can communicate that way via email first to get connected and get rolling, but to really use this facility in a really good way too, filling out the time, not just our groups and the personal training, but to have conversations with people who want to feel better about their the sport that they're passionate about, or the activity that they're passionate about, and want to do it even better.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what will happen.
Definitely. I like that. And once again, for people, individuals and teams?
Yeah. Individuals is the easy one to start. I guess I can have big dreams of wanting to support teams in some way, right? It's wanting to just do it casually and see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be the idea of how do you help just individuals
Yep.
and the people they're connected with do better.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see a really high ceiling
Definitely.
on what will come.
And I'm looking forward to feedback from your clinic staff team once you've come here for lunch and kind of they get to check out the space.
Yeah.
Just see what questions they have or concerns.
Right. Right.
Just a blending of both worlds a little bit more, which
Yeah.
is kind of what your goal is with 3 Pillars Performance. So.
Well, I think it's always on our mind too of how do we get the word out to people?
Mm-hmm.
How do we look under this rock to see who can we help here,
Yep.
or how can we let people know that they don't have to be disconnected from
Yeah.
others or stay in any kind of physical or mental pain
Yep.
or emotional or relational pain. I
Yep.
mean, those are the 4 enemies, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
of what motivates me, and I'm sure motivate you, just to have people experience something new, physically, new mentally, new
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, and relationally, because life is so much better when those are working in the right direction.
Yes, definitely. Speaking of that, this month's topic, so for people that aren't familiar with our model, every month Counselor Steve comes up with a new mental health topic. This
Mm-hmm.
month has been changed.
Yeah.
What have we covered so far in January?
Yeah, it's been a good month, right? You dive into the fact that it's a new year and a new month, and trying to build off in a more reasonable way the idea of New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
People wanting to initiate change. We've had a focus this month of how to deal with change you don't want.
Yeah.
How to be responsive with that, because
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes something will happen in January that just crushes people, and they might lose a month or two
Yep.
trying to deal with it better. So even today, speaking today, we're talking about capacity for change and how do you create room, create opportunity, create the right thinking that when change comes, you're able to absorb it and respond better to it than being crushed by it. We started just recognizing at the first week of the month that change doesn't have to be a negative word, right? It's not something that has to cause us distress. That in many ways change can be redeemed, it can be reframed, it can be understood, that we can even embrace some ideas that act as catalysts for change. So really trying to empower people along those lines. And last week just talking about how we identify ourselves with change, pessimism, optimism, realism,
Mm-hmm.
and how do we really encounter that in new ways so our response is healthier and better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a good month.
I like it. No, it's a good topic. Perfect topic. Yeah, it was this morning was making me think about when we were originally moving to this space,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying, and we were buying some fitness equipment from the clinic, and I was trying to picture how exactly I was going to do all of the equipment in my Subaru and get it here or to your house or my house, right? And then Coach Riggs just was like, "Bill, I've got a truck.
Yeah.
I'm retired."
Yeah.
I'm like, thank goodness for community.
Yeah, community of people. Yeah.
Just a simple solution. Like,
well,
hey,
it hints at next week's topic of just wanting to be better able to deal with change when we are asking for help.
Yeah.
When we're open to receiving it.
Yep.
Both of which are not always easy for people to do.
It's amazing how, I don't know if it's like a societal thing or just like current culture thing, but yeah, so many of us are just like, no, I'm just going to grit my teeth, grind through this when.
Yeah, and that could be, grit and determination go a long way, and people have high work ethics. And it's not, like maybe all things have some good and truth to them, but all things in excess become, maybe not the same value they were at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm going to depend upon myself and I'm going to work my way through this. It's a really commendable kind of belief. But if you get to a situation where it's obvious to everybody but you that you're drowning, then it becomes a problem.
Yep.
So I think that's a little bit of cultural trend, a little bit of backdrop that people find themselves in.
Yeah.
But as it fits around here, community helps.
Yep.
Paying attention to your head and heart and your body all at the same time to not let one thing get unhealthy or go awry and bring everything else down. So, we did cite it twice for change this month. Hey, we had a sudden change back in fall of 22. Guess what? You guys can't be here anymore.
Yep.
And then a wonderful idea gets started and implemented. It's growing, it's fragile, and then, sorry, you can't be here.
Yep.
Literally
yep.
anymore. So, yeah, even this place, as great as it is now, I'm glad we had a good vision
Yeah.
back then when we couldn't even walk in the door and
Yeah.
worry
Yeah.
about what we're going to touch, and not get sick.
Definitely, definitely. No, it's been good. Lots of change and lots of growth in the community and lots of support. So it's been very cool.
Hmm.
And being able to, we've had some great testimonies from folks here
Hmm.
and ways we've impacted them in their professional lives and their recreational lives and
Yeah.
different phases of life they've gone through. So it's been really cool over the last year and a half now. How long has it been?
Yeah.
Year and a
Well,
half?
year
Yeah.
and a half
Yeah.
at this place, but it also just, as you point out, a good gratitude. The gratitude I have for people's patience
Yeah. Definitely.
and believing, trusting in the vision we have, or getting enough breadcrumbs along the way that
Yep.
okay, there's something good coming.
Yep.
So to finally be at this spot here in January, where we have a name and we have some signage so people can find us in a transformed workout space here, but now fully accessible kind of utilities that people need to
Mm-hmm.
come and join a class and still get back to work. To
Definitely.
have 2 showers and 2 bathrooms is was first thing on our list, but it took us a year and a half to
Yep.
actually have them.
Yep.
So my gratitude to anybody part of the gym who has been patient. Thanks for your trust, and thanks for believing in us to still stick around,
Mm-hmm.
because now it feels like we're at the beginning.
Yep. Yep.
now,
Yep.
now, now let's get
Now let's
rolling.
get rolling. Exactly. And I guess with that, if you're watching, listening, and you're interested, we will be rolling out Steve talked about resolutions, and that's definitely a big part of this year, which is funny to me because like we're in the depths of winter here in Wisconsin. So like when people come to me all gung ho about a resolution this time of year, I'm like, awesome. I love it. But let's temper it a little bit and
Uh-huh.
realize, right? Because it's super easy. Like you were saying, something can happen in your life. January, February gets hard.
Hmm.
We've got less daylight. It's cold.
Hmm.
We're all dealing with like sun deprivation,
Yeah,
vitamin D deficiencies, all this.
yeah,
Like I love it. That's great. But let's pump the brakes a little bit.
mm,
Let's go at it from
yeah.
a little bit more sustainable
Mm.
route. And that's kind of where
That's a good
this
word.
winter wellness bingo, my grandma loves bingo or
Mm.
loved bingo in the winter. That was like her community thing.
Mm.
I remember every weekend, like a different venue,
Mm.
but it was a chance for her and her friends to gather, to
Sure.
hang out, to have their community,
Yeah.
play a little bingo. And I know a bunch of people here love bingo, but we're going to have these bingo sheets for folks. And they've got challenges from Steve, from myself, from a few of the other coaches. And then there's also blank spots for you to put in your own
Mhm.
your goal, your habit, your thing you want
Yeah.
to
Homework
add to your
assignment
life.
to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
homework assignment
Right.
that you're going to give yourself because both Steve and I know consistency, but also like manageable,
Hmm.
consistent steps are what's going to
Yeah.
really kind of move our habits, move our lifestyle, move our healthful living choices
Hmm.
forward.
Yeah.
And that's all part of this bingo game because once again, a lot of us love games. Um,
Most of us.
most of us love
Yeah.
games, right?
Yeah.
If you can gamify something,
Hmm.
that's been proven in research countless times.
Hmm.
But those are going to be out there for members here. And then at the end of the month, hopefully you have a blackout card. That's the goal. Members here are going to win themselves some little gift cards for some fellow downtown places. But for community members that are interested in the gym, feel free to take on this Winter Wellness Bingo. But your completed card will get you a trial
Hmm.
to Pearl Street. So we think that's a nice little way of celebrating
Hmm.
people doing some healthy habits this winter,
Yeah.
and also just kind of bringing people together.
Right.
That's what it's
Reminds me
about.
of an earlier monthly topic about uh, giving yourself credit for accomplishing things.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I definitely,
Receiving
yeah,
feedback and
yeah.
rewarding yourself for accomplishing a bingo card like that.
Hmm.
So
And in a positive way.
having a positive way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so many. I think a lot of us, I see myself included. I've done this, but like you celebrate by doing something that's actually like hindering your goals or setting you back, right? Like maybe one too many drinks,
Uh-huh.
or you eat something that like you think is going to make you happy, but then it
Yeah.
doesn't,
Hmm.
or yeah, just a lot of those little things. And it's like, how can we celebrate in a good way,
Yeah.
positive way?
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's kind of the goal. Have a little fun with the rest of winter.
It'd be good.
Yeah.
See how many bingo cards we can get done.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
an empty coffee tin ready for these, so I'm excited. I'm excited. Fill it up.
Hmm.
Steve, you got anything else for anybody else before we wrap it up?
I just think it's we've grown to this point because people have cared and told others about they don't have to be alone or be in pain. So this sense of community is important. So if you know someone who just wants to even check it out, as Bill said, there's a way to just to start one-on-one with one of the coaches around here.
Yep.
Our classes have a great variety to them and different times of day and different sizes of people at each one. So it means we can meet lots of people in different ways.
Yep.
So whether they're slightly motivated or they don't want to be around a lot of people, they're intimidated. If you care about somebody, you just want them to be around a while and want to see them do better, whether physically, mentally, emotionally, relationally, then let them know about us. Getting in touch with Bill or me or one of the other members, there's going to be a real honest kind of description of what can come when people join here.
Definitely.
And even if it's hard to work into a schedule, that's why we have those punch cards
Yep.
that allow people to come when they can. The free trial aspect of no commitment needed to just kind of check us out.
Yep.
And oftentimes that's the difference between staying in the same spot that's stuck and painful and kind of a cycle or repetitive is just one decision that can tip the scales and get people closer. So
Nice.
I want people who know of us to be that catalyst for somebody else to be better.
I love it. Cool. You heard it here, people. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, good to talk to you. Glad to be doing this again.
Yes, back at it.
Thanks, everybody.